Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies.
A Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
In commemoration of the upcoming threequel, Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm taking a look back on the MCU's first solo Spider-Man outing. MCU's Spider-Man. Something hardcore fans did not expect to happen in the early or even mid-years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's lifespan, seeing as the production rights to making Spider-Man films is exclusive to Sony Pictures. But Disney and Sony struck up that famous deal, Civil War happened, and made nerdy boys and girls nerdgasm the world over.
Captain? Big fan of Spider-Man?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Just...
Hey, everyone.
Good job.
It's been a fun and emotional ride for all, but with No Way Home on the horizon, that ride is about to end, since Disney didn't purchase the film rights from Sony in the 2019 dispute. Needless to say, this final movie is going to be one for the ages, and you can be sure no fan of the MCU is going to miss out on this swan song. But that's enough depression for you guys. When I first saw Homecoming, I liked it enough, maybe not as much as other people did, but I did enjoy it. But how does it hold up now? Do I still like it? Do I like it a little less? Do I think Bobby Kotick needs to step down from EA due to his own involvement in the harassment culture at his company? Of course I do! Yeah, I said something off topic. You want to fight about it, bro? This is my honest opinion of Spider-Man Homecoming. Set 8 years after the events of Avengers... Oh, Spider-Man Homecoming, you rascal, you. It's 4 years, y'all. God, why did they have to throw in a hard and fast number in there? So stupid! Set months after the events of Civil War, Peter Parker, played by Tom Holland, is getting tired of the mundane friendly neighborhood stuff and is eager for another big mission with Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., which he has not been called for. It turns out that Peter might have stumbled on his next mission all his own when common bank robbers are armed with highly advanced and incredibly dangerous and destructive weapons. Unbeknownst to Peter, these weapons are being made by Adrian Toomes, played by Michael Keaton, a former salvager during the Battle of New York who was driven out of business thanks to Tony, and kept many of the salvage for his own ends. As Peter continues his search for the source of the weapons, he is met with resistance from Tony, who tells him to stay out of it.
Can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
But I'm ready for more than that now.
Yep, still holds up. I mean, I'm a little mixed on it now. I mean, okay. I maintain that it is still a very fun, very entertaining flick, and in some ways has aged better than I would have expected, and in some ways also kind of drops the ball. In ways that I feel like, wow, I can't believe I didn't catch that the first time. Keeping the review marginally short. One positive, one halvesy, one negative. Starting with the positive, Tom Holland as the new Spider-Man still holds up. I know comic fans have their gripes and I won't call them wrong, but I like this new Spider-Man. Hey, at least he's not 30 years old trying to pass for a teenager. I like that he serves as this almost bored superhero living his life between catastrophic events. Catching simple bike thieves and giving directions to old ladies. It's adorable, and I feel like that's how a young Spider-Man should be portrayed. At the very least, it's different, and makes sense within the established cinematic universe. There's a lot of jokes about how Spider-Man works, but it doesn't forget to have a more sincere and dramatic side, which is something I feel like the sequel failed to capture.
Hey, come on, you're gonna shoot somebody shooting me!
Now for the halvesy. Keaton as Vulture. This is simultaneously the best part of the movie, as well as the most frustrating. This was around the time where MCU villains were getting good, and Vulture is no exception. Not only played by the living legend Keaton, but he was given material that did him justice. But, like I said, Vulture is both the best and most frustrating element in the movie. On the one hand, I love where his character comes from. Just a good, honest working everyman, did everything by the books, but then in comes some rich as hell superhero to take his business away from him and get paid doing it. Nope, I am 100% on Vulture's side in both his worldviews and even his criminal actions stealing Chitauri power cells.
Business is good.
I've been keeping up with a lot of video game industry news, and one of the biggest developments is Activision Blizzard being sued by California. Never thought I'd see the day where I'd actually take pride in being from this expensive-ass town, but 2021 is full of surprises. Without getting into too much detail, the ground floor employees who make the video games, particularly the female employees, have been victims of sexual harassment for years, and now the higher-ups are finally facing a serious, long overdue, and intensely deserved reckoning. The point is, I understand Vulture's outrage over being kicked in the teeth by those more rich and more powerful. So, if the plan is to steal from said rich and powerful to the point where the lost items go completely unnoticed for years, hell yeah, man. Far as I'm concerned, that's just wealth distribution.
Those people up there, the rich and the powerful, they do whatever they want. Guys like us, like you and me, they don't care about us.
There was like a meme or something that was circulating social media. Something about saying how modern superhero villains are written. Where like, they start off having super relatable, real world motivations for the things that they do, but then all of a sudden, they cross some kind of line. Something that makes them, no, these are legitimately bad guys. And that is frustrating to me. Because when you have those real-world motivations, something that any normal person can get behind, one has to ask, why jump to such extremes? This almost doesn't make sense. Vulture is no different. Why make weapons? And not just any weapons, highly destructive weapons. The Tinkerer was right. With the alien tech, they could have made some really cool shit. A generator that powers their home completely separate from the city power grid. Never pay an electricity bill for the rest of your life. AA batteries that never die. Cutesy harmless toys for kids. Why weapons? This makes no sense to me and seems like such a stretch in character for Adrian Toomes.
I'll tell you what. Let's keep it. The world's changing.
And last but not least, the negative, Iron Man. Let me finish. Let me get my opinion out there first before y'all start crossing state lines to silence me. I know in this modern climate that's practically legal nowadays, but let me say my piece. I love Iron Man, but here, this seems like the worst iteration of his character since Iron Man 3. The guy is almost completely incompetent in being the more mature hero. What I mean is, if basic ATM thieves have access to weaponry that can take huge chunks out of entire buildings, how is that above the pay grade of the Avengers? What, they need to be psycho robots of their own creation to be considered threats? The damage caused by one, which was on accident by the way, was impressive. Imagine if he intended to cause mass damage. That's called terrorism, you moron! That's right up your alley, if I remember correctly. And when he tells Peter this, that there are people who handle this sort of thing, he doesn't get on it when it needs to be gotten on until much later. For all his talk about being responsible and operating in the gray area, Tony is damn stupid at identifying where that gray area is. Thank God Peter still does what he needs to do later on, or this would be far worse.
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay?
I know it sounds like I've railed on this pretty hard, but it's only because the good stuff really is that good, and I just wanted that to be more consistent. Sadly, when it screwed the pooch, it really screwed it, and it didn't sit right with me. Thankfully, those issues do not cripple it beyond salvation. This is still a highly enjoyable flick. Spider-Man is still a wonderful hero to follow, and Vulture is one of the best villains of the MCU. My honest rating for Spider-Man Homecoming, a 4 out of 5.
I mean, I'd rather just stay on the ground for a little while. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Somebody's gotta look out for the little guy, right?
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.